I do a lot of 3D characters. I post them on this platform called CG Africa. King was sponsoring a number of people to come to THU. CG Africa submitted a number of artworks for the competition and they chose mine. So that's actually the short version of how I got here. Everyone is doing such an amazing job and everyone is so nice. I keep telling them that next time I'm coming as a knight. This I got as a gift. I also use it for notes. My French lessons. Because I'm actually a student of Gobelin in France, Paris. So we went to a place called Montmartre in Paris. This was the view I had, and that's what gave birth to this. And this is actually Montmartre, and I didn't finish because it was overwhelming. It was one of those things that you look at it and it's just epic the way it is. And I felt like in trying to capture it, it was taking away from what I'm seeing. So I rather enjoyed the view. But anytime I see this, it gives me that memory. So it might not be much, but then it does a lot. This I actually did when I got here. It's right outside. In terms of sketching, I don't really have any particular thing. Like I feel like, okay, these are the things I like to sketch, or these are the things I don't like to sketch. Drawing environments or quick sketches of environments is something that I picked up not too long ago. I see others do it, and I realize they have the bare minimum of lines, but then they are able to still express whatever they are seeing. So I thought it was a really cool thing to see if I could get to that level. So now doing environments is something that I like to try. Back when I was a kid, I used to, in class, I would draw the faces of my classmates. I was a very quiet kid, so they always knew me as the guy who draws faces. But then I started doing this and people see and they're like, oh, cool. And then they become friends with me and then we all become friends. Because when you're actually close to me, you realize I'm actually someone who can talk a lot. But I'm normally shy to make the first move. So it was like that for me. My drawing got me friends and broke their ice. But funny enough to me, I thought everyone could do that. At that point, I thought, oh, this is something that everyone does. They probably just don't like doing it, but Dexter, Popeye, Flintstones, stuff like that. And Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was one of those ones. And I could draw them. It was almost like it was a formula. Yeah, I knew where to start, where to end. And it was always one angle. As time went on, I tried to learn more and draw from imagination and stuff like that. Later on in school, I went to do science because I had this thing I wanted to be a game programmer. And some way, somehow, I stumbled upon a tutorial online about animation. That's where everything changed. Maybe it's really not the programming part I want to do. Maybe it's the animation part of games because I really like cutscenes and all of those things. In Ghana, I wasn't, this is funny, but there was nothing like switching channels back then. Right from school, that was the thing. It was like a 2-hour period, 3 hours where they just showed cartoons. And so that was the time that we got to watch cartoons, Dexter, Johnny Bravo, and all those. And that's how all of that developed. And they have been, especially my parents, they have been very supportive. I actually got this as a gift when I got here. This was the beach side because it had all this wooden and it went into perspective and it was super cool. Then you get to see the horizon and the beach and the sea all the way there. And some trees, I thought the composition was really nice. And I added in some clouds. The clouds weren't exactly like that. And moving on, I met Pedro Conti. He's actually someone that I really look up to. I met him and he was such a nice guy. He actually advised me on so many things because we ended up talking for such a long time. And yesterday he had this mentorship thing too where I went to. And while sitting there, I was just sketching stuff and listening. And this was a presentation yesterday. His stories were really interesting. Actually, very inspiring. These were just random sketches I was doing whilst I was also listening to. There's actually a painting in my room in the hotel. It looks weird. And anytime I look at it, I'm like, what? But I love it at the same time. It gives you this weird, eerie feeling, and it's just lines, and it's right above my bed. And it was, I was like, oh, this is something. This was Robert Mackenzie trying to do a cartoonized version of him. He's the one literally responsible for me coming here because he works with King and they selected us to be present at the event. Yesterday I was at the live drawing.
Yeah.
They were changing poses super fast. So, sometimes what I do is I would stare for quite a while and then make sure I have everything in my head and then draw later on. And normally for me, it was just the faces. I never really drew the poses. So that one was something new I was learning. Sometimes I could look at how others are approaching it and then what they do. So all these are ballpoints,
Yeah. You said you want to come back here as a knight, so are you ambitious?
Yes, super ambitious. Probably have more stuff to show. I mean, for a knight, you have to have something to share or something to show. You can't just come and be walking around with a knight's badge. It means that there's a lot of things that I have to do before that time comes. Maybe a few animated shots. For graduation at Gobelin, we're already going to do one. You can use 2D, you can use 3D. One is not better than the other. So in the end, it's what makes your imagination come to life. So there are so many things I think I can talk about on that. For a long time, I was using not a very powerful computer. but then you end up figuring stuff out, how to render faster. So you are forced to be very efficient with very little stuff. So, I mean, I feel like there's so much I could bring to the table. There's the live stuff and interesting. So these are a few of my colleagues. This is Mayo from CG Africa. That's Emmanuel from Uganda. And this I actually met him a few minutes ago. There's another environment. This is also close to the beach. This was from a picture I took when I went to the beach and I drew from it.
Can you show us something on the iPad?
Yeah. Let me see. Some illustrations I did.
Are these all like personal or commissioned or?
No, these are all personal. I think more of my personal stuff, those are the ones that get me places than commercial stuff. It's more powerful and it's more about you. There's a friend of mine that's her. I saw a picture of her online and she had this pose and I thought the pose was cool.
Do you base any of the characters on someone like that?
And this was a run or walk by this Nigerian comedian. His name is Nasty Black. And so I was like, let me see if I could do a similar thing in animation. It looks simple, but when you try doing it, you realize there's actually some intricacies that go with it. And it was a nice practice that I did. I take inspiration from photography a lot. And so with the little that I know and watching other photographers, how they take pictures of their models and all of that, where they position lights, the key lights, the rim lights and all. So I have a lot of photographers from Ghana that I follow. Then I keep it in my head next time that I do something. It's now like a library of look. So even today, listening to Anne Sprague's presentation, it was super cool. He takes inspiration from old paintings because they painted light. We we calculated all of that, but then they actually had it in their head and they paint the lights. That to me, I feel like that's amazing. It makes me wonder whether the more we move forward in time, are people going to be less skilled? Because now things will be coming up that make the work
It's more immediate.
Yeah. So will it be less of thinking and more of knowing how to use tools?
Yeah, well, I really like that one.
So that's the thing I decided to do with this character. Just play around, do things that no one would pay me for. Each thing I do, I learn something new. And now that I've been here, it's going to be crazy when I go back because then I have a library of things I need to improve. I need to do this, I need to do this. But in a fun way, not in a stressful way, because being here has been such an eye-opener. I mean, I was watching Kim Joo-ji, and I saw him and he's doing this stuff and he's drawing very complicated, detailed, and not just organic stuff, but mechanical stuff as well. And how?
Yes.
But it humbles and inspires you at the same time. Even Pedro was saying he gets inspired. I'm like, how? You are on top. And I think most of the artists here are the same.
Okay, so now we're getting to a part where when I just give you these sketchbooks. So
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to draw something, but you can have a look around it.
Okay.
Just think about something, and I don't know if you have tools, but I can lend you also. So.
Let me see. Okay. So at this point, do we talk?
Yeah, we can talk. If you can talk and draw, so do you? Or
I don't know. Maybe.
is it gonna be a face?
Yes, it's going to be a face. Emotions, I guess. So sometimes when I see people sitting down, not knowing that I'm watching them, sometimes it makes me wonder, what are they thinking about? Could they be having family issues? And so I like to capture that moment that they are there.
When does your course like in her sense?
So it ends next year. It's just a very cool place to be. Me being in an international class, that even makes it even more interesting. Ghana has a lot of dialects, so many. So you wouldn't find a lot of people speaking the same language. There are a few common ones, but it has so many. So then Pidgin English becomes the thing that everyone can easily communicate in. And it's English, but with all the rules of grammar broken. It's super fun to use. If I say something like "idebi," it means it is nice. But for me, languages are just amazing. I'm just excited I'm in the same book. It's good you told me about it. That this is the book. I mean, how? That's okay. It's like 20% battery. I think I tried.
Are you finished?
I don't know. That's the
You
thing.
have to stop at some
That's
point
the thing
someday.
with drawing. At the point, you have to just put your pen down.
Yes.
Well. Wow. This is Bertil Toby. But if you go to Instagram, all that's is me. Yes, Toby. This is how I have my Instagram.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Toby or Bertil?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, this has been
yeah.
super fun.